welcome Akanksha Sadekar on our MYB talk show. She has
Hi.
hi Akanksha. So recently she started a wonderful, activity. Let's hear from her only what she is doing, how her life journey is going on. So Akanksha, please tell us about yourself and your activities.
Hi. My name is Akanksha, and I'm a petroleum engineer by qualification and by profession as well. In the last second wave of COVID that hit India in the end of March 2021, I found myself in middle of a lockdown. And just like every other millennial out there, I was on social media just scrolling through and found a couple of tweets from a doctor who spoke about not having access to home cooked food after coming back from a COVID duty. So, as a sister whose brother is a upcoming doctor in this country, it really moved me, and it made me realize that maybe we need to take care of the people who are taking care of us. And that's how I started a very small initiative, home cooked food to the medical workers, frontline workers in Pune. And that kind of grew up to also providing access to hot food to a lot of daily wage laborers, migrant workers, and the destitutes found on the streets of Pune.
Oh, it's a really great social work you started. So what challenges you faced and how you're overcoming or converting them into opportunities?
The biggest challenge that initially I faced was to understand where was the hunger problem, to be very honest. The healthcare workers and the frontline workers were mostly educated, and they could come to me through social media, either through Twitter or through Facebook or any social media for that matter. But the people who are actually needy and hungry don't have access to any of these social media channels. So, hunger mapping became quite a big task, but with the help of the local police, pretty much I worked very closely with Pune Police. And with their help, I could understand where were these hunger clusters, and we could, make those areas targets, and we started delivering over 5,000 hot meals every day.
Okay, great. So basically, this is a social work and you are an engineer. What motivated you to do this?
Um, I think it's about giving back to the society that has given so much to us, right? So, as an engineer, stepping into doing some social work could have been as easy as just transferring some money to an NGO and forgetting about it. But this time around, what I thought was maybe a little bit more was required from me. So, somewhere or the other, it was that inherent need of wanting to make a change personally that got me started, basically.
Great. It's a nice initiative. So, which qualities of you help you to do this, benevolent work? And also because you are meeting, street people which are unknown to you, how you, manage all these things? Which qualities mainly
So,
help you?
I would say it is my resilience, really, to be very honest, because initially when we started out going to the pockets of the clusters of women and children, especially in the red light area of Pune, we met with a lot of resistance. And because, they're just tired of people coming and exploiting the situation and doing a lot of photo ops, as I call it. A lot of photographs are clicked and work is very little. So we faced a lot of resistance, and I would say it was only the resilience and, kind of the way that I could connect to them and convince them that I was here to stay. So the biggest quality I look out for, even in volunteers who want to come and join with me, is are they dependable and are they resilient? Because it's only if you go every day and if you do the same thing every day without fail, will you win the trust of people. So I would say it was my resilience.
Great. Okay. So, doing the work, giving them food is it's very good at. But how do you get, funds management and day-to-day expenses, how you meet and how you motivate your team? Because it's not a job of one person of yourself. You require a team for this. So how do you motivate your team?
So funds, I was very lucky that I had friends and family who have trusted me pretty much blindly with all the activities that I've been doing, despite not clicking pictures of it. So funds have been always never been a problem since day one. And about my team, we're a very small team. We're two people who started this, and we have four more people who work on ground every day. So I've kept the team small for a simple reason that I think small teams can do wonders. And with that approach, it was always good to get going and keeping them motivated. How I managed to do that more than how I manage, it is the people that we serve, right? They have their numbers, so they keep calling them, they keep thanking them for the food that comes out every day. So I think they're self-motivated to come back every day on ground because they have been working for the last 60 days with me. So I don't have to do much. Rather, they keep me motivated most of the times.
Yes.
Yeah.
So what is the next plan? How you are going to expand this, or how you will be, keeping your this service continue? What are your plans for this?
So basically, we've started our own community kitchen in Pune now. So where it's a non-political, non-religious, the first of its kind rather, which we call it the apolitical, a-religious kitchen, which will keep serving food, lunch and dinner to more than 5,000 people daily. And it will always have that approach till as a, however long we can go, basically.
Okay. Okay. So it's really a superb initiative you have taken. So any message would you like to give to our audience?
I would just say that, there's a very famous quote by Mother Teresa that you don't have to feed everyone. You can just feed one person. So, I would just say that if you can help out one hungry person out there, you are doing a great job. So I would just say hunger is such a thing in our community that it is very, very prevalent and even invisible as COVID-19 is. So just try to deal with hunger on your own front, and we should have a better society.